He's gone through traumatic stress and there's this blood red rug on the floor. And I'm like, no. I'm really excited. I'm doing a Therapist Reacts 2. It's my first one, so any tips, tricks, or suggestions are welcomed, and hopefully you're as excited as I am. We are doing Season 4, Episode 2, Sherlock Holmes, The Lying Detective. And everyone does therapy a little bit different, but I'll be giving it from my perspective, and let's get started. I'm really excited.
Tell me about your morning.
Start from the beginning.
So I don't know if they started off at the beginning of a therapy session, but first it's usually a hi, how are you doing? You want to kind of build a rapport and make people feel comfortable, because why would you want to share the innermost secrets of your life with someone that starts off with a question where you have to, like that, those icebreakers are actually good to feel comfortable in a space. So maybe they already did this.
I woke up.
How did you sleep?
Okay, so this part, so finally we get to see the therapist's office, and it's interesting because spaces, they carry emotional content, items carry emotional content. And the first thing that I see when I look at this image is this blood splatter rug. It looks like and he's coming in, there was a gunfire, he's gone through traumatic stress, and there's this blood red rug on the floor. And I'm like, no. That would be the first thing that I or another therapist would go into a room, and we go into each other's offices and we're like, you know what? This is probably not what you should have there, because if you're dealing with someone that's gone through trauma where there was blood, this can be a very triggering and upsetting space. It doesn't seem calm. I've done a couple of faux pas before. I remember once I had a ticking clock in my office, and that ticking just drove some people. Some people loved it and some people completely hated it, so I got rid of it. And the other time is I had a fountain. Now I love this fountain. It was like a standing fountain. It was huge, but the sound of trickling water, a lot of people were like, I have to go to the washroom. If you're gonna keep this, can you please turn it off? And so sometimes you have to think about what other people's traumas are, not just what you might like and what you don't like. This space is for everyone. So that rug, out of there.
Can't always cope. And last night wasn't good.
It's understandable.
Is it? Why? Why is it understandable? Why does everything have to be understandable? Why can't then some things be unacceptable and we just say that?
So here we go through the interplay between therapist and a client. And so what you're trying to do is make people feel comfortable to be able to go to the places and figure out what's happening. I'm less confrontational. Like, why questions are really important, but the way that you say them can often make people feel threatened or defensive. So I don't know if I would have said it when someone's already feeling, you can tell by his interaction, he's a great actor, so you can tell that he's already feeling a little bit uncomfortable. So I might have waited on that and just let someone share their story before you start going into depth with it. And then we have this defensive bit of, why? Like, why I don't feel okay, and why are you trying to make it all okay? Which is a very fair question to ask a therapist. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your therapist and questioning them, then it may not be a great therapeutic alliance in the first place.
I only mean it's okay.
I'm letting my daughter down. How the hell is that okay?
You just lost your wife.
And Rosie just lost her mother.
So there we go into a little bit of that negative self-talk of, why is this not, I'm not doing what I could be doing, and I'm dealing with trauma, and that acceptance to it. And so I think that she did actually a really wonderful job of, saying that this was like, the normal response would be to not be okay when you've lost a loved one. That's the normal response. And it's about time and acceptance to that. So I think that interchange was actually really good. The piece, though, that I don't think that they mentioned in it is that, it's also okay to not feel okay about not being okay. a little bit of a mind spin, but yeah.
You are holding yourself to an unreasonable standard.
No, I'm failing to.
So there is no one you talk to, confide in.
No one. Oh, I'm picking up Rosie this afternoon after I see my therapist. Got a new one, seeing her today.
Are you going to tell her about me?
So, sorry, I got chills from that moment. Sorry, I get emotional, I cry, but so he's, and there's spoilers in this if you haven't already seen it, he's seeing his dead wife still. And a lot of people, when they go through trauma, we still talk to and we still envision, we know what they would say, so they're often still with us. And I think that people still, a lot of people feel that sense of shame or that that's wrong or there's anything wrong with it. It's very healing, actually, and helpful. And he isn't sharing this with his therapist, which is also okay. Like, you share what you feel comfortable with when you feel comfortable. No one has access, even if they directly ask a question, to everything that's happening in your mind. So I can understand him not yet worried about perhaps being judged about this, but it's a completely normal coping mechanism.
No.
Why not?
So I can't.
Why not?
Because I can't. You know I can't. She thinks you're dead.
John, you've got to remember it's important. I am dead. Please, for your own sake and for Rosie's, this isn't real. I'm dead. John, look at me. I'm not here. You know that, don't you?
Okay, I'll see you later.
Is there anything you're not telling me?
I don't ask that question. I don't know. I think it's disrespectful. It's your business whether you want to share something with me as a therapist is not. And I've never seen anyone else be so directly, there's something that you're hiding from me. I really do understand that it's a process of trust and openness, and even if you choose not to share something with me, that's your journey. And when you feel safe enough to share it with me, you will. Again, it's a TV show. They speed stuff up to be able to make it a little bit more confrontational than it probably would be in a regular therapist's office.
No?
What are you looking at?
And you see the uncomfortable cough, look away. That is very true to what happens when we're trying to get past something or move to another subject very quickly because we don't feel comfortable talking about what a subject might be at the moment. And you may choose to say, you coughed and looked away. Is there something that's bothering you? Which is much less confrontational than a direct, are you hiding something from me? Which will probably immediately make the person feel defensive and put their guards up, which when you're trying to form an alliance with someone else is the opposite than what you want to do.
Nothing?
You keep glancing to my left.
Oh, I suppose I was just looking away.
There is a difference.
And usually when we talk, we're not staring directly at someone. Usually when people are deep in thought, they are looking around or looking at something. I would never call them on that either, because that's a normal way of dealing with conversations. When we're like remembering something to the past that's very deep, often we are looking to another place, and that's one of the signs that our brains are recalling memories also. So I would not want someone to be uncomfortable with the way that they're moving, because then they'll be thinking about the movement and not going deep into their emotions and thoughts where I want them to go.
Has he attempted to make contact with you?
No. No, if Sherlock Holmes wants to get in touch, that's not something you can fail to notice.
And enter Sherlock Holmes. I think it's Sherlock Holmes. Wait, is it Sherlock Holmes?
No. Won't you introduce me?
And no, you would never ask to be introduced. I will ignore you if I see you on the streets. It's up to you if you want to to share whether I'm your therapist or not. There is still a confidentiality, even if the person crashed into your garbage can and something went flying. So that's a little bit of unveiling my thoughts, my reactions to this first therapeutic scene on Sherlock Holmes. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Give me your thoughts and comments. How can I make this better? Is there anything that you would love for me to react to? I'll be taking a look, and hopefully we'll be doing more of this. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video.